Cheryl, you can make it. I bet my life that you were our heroine in this movie because you were our hero in Within the Woods, so why shouldn't you be in here? What? No? Holy shit! No? Shelly, you have a chance to be more than an expendable, barely developed character. Can you do it? No? No? What's Linda? No, your leg is screwed up, never mind. Oh! Didn't see that coming. Alright, now we're down to Scott and Ash. And Scott, you're much more of a badass. I'd go along with you to fight Deadites any day. What? No, wait, that leaves us with Ash. And Ash is our hero? We're so screwed. Or are we?
Welcome to the horror show. To realize there is nowhere to run. No game to try. Paranoia is getting alive. Welcome to the horror show. To realize there is nowhere to run. No game to try. Obsessions rule your mind.
The Evil Dead! I have a couple copies of The Evil Dead. More than a couple. I got these two when I was younger. One of them I got and I lost it, and I found it after I got this one. So I have two copies of the first Incubator edition, I guess what it is, and they're pretty good. And that poster behind me, I always have it up there behind me, is because I got it in this. The Ultimate Edition. It came with it. The Ultimate Edition is quite awesome, actually. It comes with an awesome little picture along with the chapter index. And then you can open it some more. That's where the poster goes. With another really cool picture. That's my favorite poster of it, actually. It comes with the first DVD and another awesome picture in widescreen form. So that's the Ultimate Edition. Big booklet thing. And then I have the Blu-ray of The Evil Dead. I saw this was actually a decent transfer. I mean, it could have been a lot better. And it could have been more special features and stuff, but yeah, it was a cool transfer. So when I was around 8 years old, I was in Walmart with my family and saw this DVD just sitting there. And it was the DVD for The Evil Dead. Then I bought the DVD for the first time when I was around 13 or 14, and I put off seeing it for a while for unknown reasons. But eventually I saw it, and I was pissed because I waited so long to see it. This film is made up of tons of horror cliches, and it keeps on using elements from other horror movies, but it does it in a way that works. This is probably the first horror film to involve a group of teens or young adults getting stuck in a cabin with no way out and being taunted and possessed by demonic forces. And then it was copied years after. Well, for the years to come, I just kept thinking copied and copied by other horror movies. And yes, I said demonic forces. One thing that pisses me off is that most people who see this movie call them zombies. They're not. They're demons. Sure, they have zombie-like appearances, but not many zombies talk, let alone instigate and torture their victims. This film is not perfect by all means, but it is still a superb and excellently made horror film. I can say, when I first saw this movie, I thought that Scott was going to be our hero. Even though I saw Army of Darkness when I was much younger on the Sci-Fi Channel, saw that had Bruce Campbell as Ash. They just did Scott's character so well up to a point, and then you realize that there may be no hope if it's just Ash left. Years after seeing all three films, I saw Within the Woods on YouTube and thought, I'd give it a watch. So you know what? I thought it was a very fine film. I thought the acting was a bit better than The Evil Dead, and I also thought the characters were more likable from what I could see. It's a very grainy picture. It's very worn out. And I would give Within the Woods a 4 out of 5 any day. Many people think this movie is a comedy because of Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn. All I have to say to that is, back then when it was first made, hell no. But today, by today's standards, somewhat. Some people tend to confuse Evil Dead 2 with the Evil Dead and consider them to be one film. This also pisses me off. Another thing that pisses me off is when people say that Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn is far more gory than The Evil Dead. This is not true. Sure, Evil Dead 2 had some over-the-top comedic gory moments, but it never will be truly as gory nor bloody as The Evil Dead. I cannot stretch that enough. It must be a fact because The Evil Dead is the goriest of the trilogy. This film is dark, and it displays something that I like to call the hopeless effect, which is basically when you are in a place that is terrifying enough on its own time, and then you throw something in to amp up the fear that you get so scared that you give up. That's why I think Ash is the most badass in this movie than in Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness. Everyone thinks he's so badass in those two movies because he says epic one-liners and slapstick things happen to him. But I feel he puts up with the most shit in this movie, and until the end, he's the most badass I've ever seen him. So, props to Evil Dead 1. And don't get me wrong, he's still quite the badass in Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness. So, yeah. And I do like the fact that Ash was the only one left, and he has that male survivor kind of thing about him, because not many horror movies have male heroes. It's always the females, because God knows why. Overall, I give The Evil Dead a 4.5 out of 5. It's a film that knows what it is and does everything it can to make itself the best. And don't let me forget to mention about the camera angles. Oh boy, the camera angles. They were awesome. I am Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Movie Reviews. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below and to leave comments and subscribe.